Hi, I'm coming to you today to talk about this jewelry box. I started on this jewelry box yesterday. It was a brownie frowny old jewelry box, maybe the kind, this is kind of the kind that my grandmother had on her dresser when I was a little girl. And it is sort of ugly and gold on the inside. I'm going to do something about that today. If you have any questions or comments, just ask them. I would love to know about your favorite jewelry box. You know, I don't know that I had a jewelry box when I was a little girl, but I always wanted one of those that had the little twirling ballerina in it that played the music. I did find out yesterday that, I'm going to turn it on back here, I got this one at either a garage sale or a flea market, but it does play music. I don't know when, but there it goes. It plays music, love story, when the bottom drawer comes out. But yesterday I painted this in Dixie Belle paint, Flamingo, for the all over. Then I went back over it with Dixie in the areas here, dry brushed a little and did some stenciling on top with Dixie Belle. Oh my goodness, what's that color? Everybody has one. Mermaid tail. And then I went over that then with the Dixie Belle Pearlescent glaze to try to give it a little bit of a glaze. Still didn't like it. Went over a little bit of areas with the Dixie Belle burnishing wax. I went first around it with the dark teal, then I went back over it with the copper, and I did like that in some areas, but it still looks a little bit plain. I tried to put a couple of small stencils, this is the stencil I was using, in this area here on the drawers, and even this tiny butterfly, when I took the drawers out, it just didn't do good on there. It didn't look good, so I rubbed that out. And this was leather. This is a padded little piece right here, but I just painted right over it. And now today it's still missing something, and I don't know what to do or what I'm gonna do, but one of the parts that we're gonna do here is I'm gonna just paint some little flowers or something on here, and we're going to mix the Dixie Belle paint. I've got a little bit of water in this cup here, and I'm gonna mix the Dixie Belle paint like, say, 1/4 paint to 3/4 water to really thin it down, and then use the pigments that are in there to sort of dye or change the color of this gold felt that inside the drawers and at the top. So I may as well take the drawers out because we'll be doing that in a minute. But I just thought I would share that. I guess we're going to get serenaded for a little while. I just thought I would share that with you for in case you decided to work on a project of your own like this too. I got out today, I got out the Flamingo again because I didn't, you know, I was going to sand this off and leave it brown on the inside, but I'm not going to do that now that I'm going to fiddle with the inside. But I got out Peony, which I used on another project recently. I got out Plum Crazy, which I'm just plum crazy about, which is pretty similar to the Peony, but, you know, has a little bit of purple maybe added. Almost matches my fingernails, huh? And I got out Daisy. It's brand new. I've never used it before, but I've been wanting to. I'm really in a yellow mood lately. And I wanted some green on here because I thought I would do some vines through there, but I don't have a bright green. All I have is this dark green, collard green sitting here with me, and I don't know that I want to use that. So I'm thinking, you know, as a grown-up, we think about vines, and vines are green, but as an artist, instead of a grown-up, I get to do things that I want to do. We're going to do vines, but I'm going to do them in whatever color hits my brush at that moment, and then the same thing's going to happen to the inside. So I don't know whether, if I do this, I can do the floral part first, then this can stay open and it's not gonna mess it up. So let's just do that first. I got out just some of these El Cheapo brushes that came in the 25 pack for $5.99 from Michael's. So my favorite sort of flower to paint with is a semi-daisy, so that's what we're going to work with here. I'm going to go do the center of my flowers now with this Plum Crazy, just to give a dot to my daisies. I like it better already. It needed something. I don't know whether I'm going to need to bring some of that color up or down yet. Probably will. Again, I'm just going to go out of the lid because there's plenty in there. You know what? Let me go ahead and do something. What can I do with this? Let's go ahead and just put him a little bit in the body of the butterflies that are up there because I got it on my brush, so why not? And some polka dots. Also in threes, of course, because the world would fall apart if I didn't use odd numbers. Wonder if these drawers are going to need that to make me happy. Let's do it. Okay, so now I'm going to go with some of the Peony because that's a bright pink. Get a little of this going here. There's some in the lid, same thing. I'm going to use that. That way I don't over dip my brush. And what do we do? I'm going to try to get it really, twirl my brush to get it really thin and see if I can work on my petals a little bit. There you go. It's better than leaving it alone. I'm gonna do lines. I'm trying to decide, this is yellow or like a gold felt, but it's really too grown up looking for a jewelry box that's this young person looking. So I'm gonna try, I got myself a little bit of water and I'm gonna try to dilute the paint and just use the pigments out of it. Dilute the paint like 1 part paint to 3 parts water, and then paint this felt with it to try to get it a little bit of a different color. And I don't know whether to do, I want to do the yellow, but I know it's not going to cover. I'm going to do this Plum Crazy, I think. That's the kind of the darkest of the colors I have here. I'm going to use this other cup and do the paint first. And then pour the water in. Seems like a lot of water, but I don't want it to be all stiff and everything. I do want to just use it for the pigments. Okay, so this is thin. Can you see it? It's like thinner than milk. Not as thin as just water, but thinner than milk. If you've ever tried it, it's probably the consistency of rice milk. Here we go. What you got to lose? Looks like it's staining it real well. I'm pleased. I don't want it to be dripping wet, and it is pretty wet, and then cause the whatever has glued this down to come unglued. Nor do I want it to like sour or anything. I guess I should leave it open all night. That's cute, y'all. Even if I did do it myself. Look at the difference. That's really cute, and it almost looks orangey pink here and there in there where it's sinking in. Let's do the other one. When you water the paint you know, with this many pigments in it, down this thin, and then you go over a fabric like this, it doesn't make the fabric stiff, because it's most of the paint and other parts that are in the paint that would make it stiff from being just a paint. You know, it's so watered down that it doesn't affect that. It's just the pigments and the actual dyes and things that are in it that stick to the fabric. So it's, when you use it this wet and then let it dry, it's soft. If it's not as soft as you want it, or not as dyed as deep as you want it, and you want to put another coat, you can lightly sand in between the coats to prepare the surface to take more pigment. I'm not thinking we're going to have to do that, because this is covering so well. Just so pleased. Can you see that? The whole inside is now the plum color. Love, love, loving that. Oh yeah, this is a much happier jewelry box. So far so good there. And the other thing I'm going to do is get this other little brush back out and put some polka dots right here. These polka dots are the thing, right? Looks pretty dang happy to me. Let's see the small one. What do you think? I think it's much happier than it was an hour ago, right? Or 20, 30 minutes ago, ever how much long ago. I like it. Here we go with a circle right in the middle of all these plum circles. And every center dot is definitely lightening it up. We don't have any yellow on the top. Just put a couple of dots on each butterfly, right? Let's just put a little bit of a daisy right here. I'm happy. And a little bit of peony right up in the center of these bottom two flowers. It's definitely not a brownie frowny. There's some butterflies on top. The flowers on the front. Here's where we, if I can see it, painted the inside. The golden felt velvet stuff is now dyed pink. Same thing in the drawers. So I'm going to open these drawers to leave overnight to air out, or over the weekend. I'm going to open this back up. I appreciate you joining me today. Let me know if you have an old jewelry box that you want to do something cool to, or if you have another flea market find, something that's a good idea that you want us to maybe redo together, something fun. These projects are for nothing but fun. These are not something that we're going to be able to put on Etsy and sell for $1,000. Ain't gonna get rich painting jewelry boxes, but we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna lower our stress level, which means we're gonna be happier to be around and be a healthier person in the long run. And if a little bit of paint will do that for you, that's a pretty good miracle. I appreciate you watching. Bye.